These are the quick laws of money and wealth. Driven Mofos, welcome back to another episode of The Underestimated Entrepreneur. Let's talk about money, the moolah. Now, with money, most people don't understand how it works. So I just want to give you a real quick, fast podcast episode about money and wealth that will probably tweak your thinking. So first of all, when we think about money, we have to understand what it is. Money is the exchange of value. That's all that it is. Now, thousands of years ago, we used to trade shells. We would trade spears for canoes and we would trade. There's always been trade. Now, even we can go back a couple of hundred years and people used to trade spices. And normally what happens is the more rare something is, the more value it has, and we could trade that, and that became a commodity. So we always had a way of trading because we would have to try to figure out value. Now, if it took 3 months to create a canoe, yet it took a day to create a spear, you would have to trade 6 months worth of spears in order to get a canoe. That's how we exchange things. You can't trade one spear for one canoe because the value exchange is unfair. Unless you have a shitload of canoes and no spears and you can't eat, and so therefore the spear becomes more valuable. But really all it is an idea. The exchange of commodities is just an idea. So money is an idea. We agree that money is valuable, therefore we exchange it. But if we didn't think that money was valuable, we would exchange other things. Now, a lot of the time, if you look at a lot of the stuff online, you'll hear all these crypto bros on there and they say, well, you know, the government are regulating money, they're printing more money, so it's becoming less valuable. And so therefore, cryptocurrency is going to be the future. We don't really know whether it is or it isn't, because here's the thing, the governments are going to regulate it anyway. You're not going to find ways around it. They have military power. So unless you're more powerful than the military that they're going to overtake you with and overpower you with, you're probably not going to do shit, right? So governments will still have a way of controlling the supply of value, and they need to. We have to have regulating bodies that manage the supply of money, because all of a sudden, if everyone just starts creating trillions of spears, those spears become almost something that's worth nothing. It's not just the government, but also you have federal reserves and things like that, and the global monetary fund and so on, that create the flow of money in different economies and so on. And there's probably reasons behind it that are, I guess there's the need for power and the need for control and all of that crap. I don't get involved in all of that shit. There is probably higher powers that will control humans and things like that. I don't know. What I do know, though, is that money is the exchange of value. So if I want to make more money, I need to exchange something of higher value in order to get more money. Now, I can do that by working harder. I can do it by creating new products. I can do it by better quality services. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we can do it. But it's essentially the exchange of money. Once we understand that, instead of saying, I need more money, you say, I need to create more value. Now, you can do that by creating more value within yourself, becoming a better business owner, a better business leader, being able to manage people more effectively, having more courage, having more confidence. There's so many different ways that you can do it. That's the idea of money, first of all. But then the second thing is, here are some rules that I just really quickly wanted to go over, because if you're struggling financially, first of all, you're not offering enough value to the world. You have to keep adding value if you want to make more money. The reason why I'm one of the highest paid coaches in Australia is because I add a lot of value. I do a podcast episode every day. I've created things like Dominate, my back-end program. We've got Business Growth Odyssey. In my business programs, I've created billions of dollars worth of revenue for the businesses that have been in there. Why wouldn't they pay me what I'm worth in order to get that back? Then I've worked one-on-one with people. Now I charge a lot of money for that. But why? Because they get massive results from executing and implementing, what I get them to do. And also because of the contacts that I have and the people that can help them grow their businesses. We also run events like Thrive Time, so we help people build their success map in life. What's more valuable to a human than getting clear on what they're trying to create in their future, breaking patterns of the past so that they can execute and live a great life? I think that is phenomenal. I think it's one of the best personal development and personal growth events on the planet. And in all truthfulness, I would give up 13 years of school just to do that fucking event, because you will learn more in that event than you will in 13 years of school. Because you can go out and get a job and work your whole entire life and still not know who you are, what you want to achieve, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. So having that success map is one of the greatest things that I think humans can do. So what my point is that the more value you offer to the world, the more you get back in return. But you need other things like courage, confidence, competence. You've got to keep developing your skill set. If you want to be good at anything, you've got to work in it and develop those skills. You have to be able to lead and manage people, but also you have to turn ideas into physical forms, right? An idea is just an idea. You have to go out there and then create it and bring it into the world or make it lively, I guess, so that people can use it, whatever the product and service is. But here are some other things that I really wanted to go through. First of all, money doesn't have emotion. So when people say money's evil, they're fucking morons. Money is not evil. I leave money in my wallet all the time. And when I come back, it hasn't destroyed anything. It hasn't killed anybody. It hasn't done anything. Money doesn't do shit. It's just an idea of value exchange. People who chase money, people who are needy, people who are greedy, people who live like a poor person even though they have money, all of those types of people, they attach emotion to money, which then makes money good or bad. Money doesn't do shit, right? Money isn't good or bad. It's how people use it. A lot of people out there, I've met people who are super wealthy and they live like they're poor because they're afraid of spending money. They're afraid of living a great life because they devalue themselves. They don't think that they're personally worth it. Or because they're so scared, they think that they always need to have a lot of money on hand just in case. I think that that's a shit way of living. That's my personal preference. I think that it's shit. My mum was like that growing up. My mum used to tell us that we had no money. But meanwhile, my mum was building a very good portfolio. Now, we weren't broke. It was just that she wanted to be financially independent. I got to give her huge amounts of credit for that. But I used to take on this whole belief around money that we never had any money, that we were poor. Now, when I was young, yeah, we were poor. We never had any money. Dad worked 2 jobs. Mum worked as well. I used to go and pick up my sister from kindergarten. But I used to develop this belief around being poor and being broke all the time because my mum would say, we can't afford it, we can't afford it. So I got in the habit of telling people I couldn't afford shit. Now I say, how can I afford it? So the US trip that I'm about to go on, it's probably going to cost about $150,000 to go and do that. I didn't look at that and say, this is my dream and my goal, I can't afford it. I said, right, this is my dream and goal. How can I afford it? How can I make it work? How can I make it happen? Because I ask the right questions, my mind opens up. I go and find answers to those things. I go and find the right people that can help me to get there, and I go and make shit happen. That's why I do better than the average person, because I don't say I'm poor and give a shitty statement like that. I don't say I'm broke and give a shitty statement, because statements shut down our way of thinking. Every time you give a statement, you're shutting down your thinking. When you say, well, I'm just fat. Great statement. That locks it and solidifies it in your own mind so you don't have to do anything because you're mentally lazy. Someone who is smart says, you know what? How can I be healthy? How can I eat better? How can I improve my current situation? The same thing happens with money. If you go, well, I'm just broke, or yeah, rich people can afford it, but we can't. Great statements. That's why you are broke and why you are shit, because you keep using these statements. You got to ask questions. How can we afford it? How can we make it happen? What do I need to learn? All of those are great questions that will probably help you to move on your path to greater success. So you've got to ask questions, and they have to be good questions that move you in the right direction. So the first thing is that money is not good or bad. It is not evil. Money is just an exchange of value. It does not do anything for you. It doesn't work against you. You make it work for you. People make it work for them, or you make it work against you, or people make it work against you. It's people that do shit, not money. So that's the first thing. Get rid of this belief that rich people are a certain way. Money's good, money's bad, money's wrong, money's right, whatever. It's not. There's all different types of people. There are shitheads without money and there are shitheads with money. There are broke people who are assholes and there are rich people who are assholes. They're people. The money has nothing to do with anything. But here's what money does. Money allows you to have more opportunities and it amplifies everything. So if you're living a great life, money will amplify the shit out of that. If you believe in yourself, money will amplify the shit out of that. If you have confidence and courage to go after the things that you want, money will amplify the shit out of that. If you're afraid and you're scared, money will amplify the shit out of your fears and you being scared. If you're weak and can't make decisions, money will amplify that because it'll make you more scared, more afraid, and you'll be afraid of losing it. Money amplifies everything that you are. So if you think that money is going to change the way you operate, you are wrong. It's not money that will change the way you operate. You will change the way you operate and money will amplify that. It is you. And most people do not understand that. They do not understand that it is them, it is not money. And so when you change the way you operate, money will amplify that. I know that money amplified the way that I operate, and that's why I enjoy life now. That's why I do the stuff that I do. That's why I travel. That's why I love living the life that I live. Money amplifies that. When I used to sit there and go, oh man, if I just had more money, if I could just do this, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. And I was stressed all the time. Money just amplified the fuck out of it. That's all that it did. That's all that it did. And I used to make up excuses. Well, it's because the economy's shit. People aren't buying. Most people are stupid. They don't understand. I used to make up excuses, but money would amplify those excuses. So I just stopped making them. That's really what it comes down to. So that's the first one. Money does not do anything. It amplifies. That's all it does. It amplifies everything that you already are. So unless you change you, money will never change anything because it will amplify everything. Next is money is attracted to speed. So the faster you move, money will come to you faster. So the faster you move, it will move fast. I've noticed that the faster I make decisions, the faster I do things, the faster I move every day, money keeps coming in. Boom, 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 boom. So the faster that I move, the more money comes to me. The slower I move through indecision, through fear, and through doubt, the more money gets pushed away from me. So money is repulsed by indecision, and money is attracted by speed. So the faster you move and the more decisive you are, the more money you'll start making. If you are indecisive, if you sit there and think about shit for too long or overthink things, I guarantee money is moving away from you. It is going to be repulsed by you. But not only is money going to be repulsed, good, high-level people are going to be repulsed. I spoke to someone about this yesterday, actually. I had a person I caught up with. They just joined my business growth odyssey. The conversation went like this. I got a lead come through my website. So on the website, michaelmojo.com, you can go on there and you can apply for coaching. This email comes through my business coaching that said, I'm interested in joining. It came through at like 9 o'clock at night or 8:45. I picked up the phone. I called this guy straight away and he's like, shit, man, I wasn't expecting you to call. And I was like, well, you applied. You're obviously on your phone, so why not give you a buzz? He's like, man, that is fucking cool. I move fast. We're making shit happen, right? You're ready to roll, aren't you? And he's like, yeah, I am. I've got to grow my business. I'm sick of being stuck where I am. We're flatlining. I just got rid of a staff member. And you know what? I need to grow. So I said, look, let's have a bit of a chat and see if I can help. I went through, found out about him. I said, look, I can definitely help you, but let's catch up on Saturday. We caught up on Saturday afternoon. Most people are out partying, watching sport, doing all that shit. This guy comes and meets up with me on Saturday. We spend an hour and a half going through everything, looking at his business. And I said, look, you got to get involved in my business odyssey. He looks at it, goes, yeah, man, let's move. Bang. And I said to him, your life is going to change because of the speed that you operate. And he said, I've learned I have to operate that way because if I don't make a change now, it's never going to change. And I said, I know that you're acting that way, but that's not how most people operate, which is why you're going to beat most of your competitors. You're going to beat your competitors providing you keep making decisions like this. You see what you want, you know what you want, and you drop the hammer and you move fast. And I said, mate, that's impressive. I very rarely come across people that I'm impressed with. Now, he doesn't have a $100 million business or anything like that. In fact, he's making just under $1 million. So he's, making 800 grand a year or something like that. But what I said is that I'm impressed by the speed at which he moves because I know that money is attracted to speed, but also high-level people are attracted to speed. And that's what I said to him. I said, you'll do well in my community because you're moving fast. Other fast-moving people will naturally be attracted to you. What will happen is that if you're a slow-moving person and you're around highly successful people, they won't put up with your shit. They might hang out with you every now and again, but they won't want to catch up a lot because you're not moving fast enough. In order to hang out with high-level people, they have to be inspired by your growth. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're broke and trying to get to your first $1 million or even your first $100,000. The speed at which you operate at attracts high-level people to you. And high-level people who are attracted to you will give you high-level information, high-level support. They will move quick. I talk to people all the time that say that they want to grow their business, that they want to improve their life. And then they say, oh, I need to think about it. But they've been thinking about it fucking 3 years. So you think about it for 3 years. You tell me you need to think about it. I already know that you are a slow pace motherfucker that is not going to get anywhere fast until you change your attitude. And like I said, money is attracted to people who move fast and it is repulsed by people who are indecisive and move slow. That's important. The other thing is that money is an exchange of value. So people with high value don't want to hang out with people with low value because people who have low value always move slow. They always need to think about everything. They overthink things. They're always caught up in their head. They're always trying to figure everything out. They're trying to get everything right. They're afraid of what everybody else thinks. They're afraid of criticism. And because of that, they just drive around with their handbrake on. And no matter how hard they put their foot on the accelerator, their handbrake's still on. And the handbrake's always on because they move so slow. And they're so afraid and they're so scared. And they don't realize that they're driving with the handbrake on. So they're always burnt out and always tired. They consume a ton of gas. As in, they think they're moving fast, but they're not getting anywhere. It's the fear and everything like that that is stopping them. The only way to get over that fear is to get courage. Courage is, I make decisions, I move. I make decisions and I move. And like Jesse Ziller said, I don't always make the right decision, but I make every decision right, which means when you fuck up, you work it out and you keep moving forward. And that's what most people aren't prepared to do because they aren't prepared to fail. And because they're not prepared to fail, they're not prepared to move forward, which is the reason why they're stuck. So anyway, just remember, money is attracted to speed and it is repulsed by indecision and slow-paced people and slow-paced thinking. That's another important fact when it comes to money. Also, money comes to those who add value and solve problems, and it is repulsed by those who create problems and complain and have a victim mentality. So if you're out there consistently solving problems and you're growing and you're pushing forward and you're trying to figure shit out, if you're moving fast and you're solving problems and you're adding value, you're always going to be wealthy. You're always going to keep making more and more money. But if you're the opposite and you've got your victim card and you're hanging on to it and you're complaining and blaming and justifying and you're creating problems, I guarantee you're stuck at a low level. When I go and work in government departments, and I've been called to work in government departments before, I go in there and you have a whole bunch of problem creators. They all whinge and complain about insignificant shit, and they all get stuck in complaining and whinging and moaning about shit versus moving quick. And then what happens is all the red tape is everyone trying to palm off decisions because everyone's afraid of making decisions because everyone gets blamed for things. It's just a shitty place to be in. So yeah, you really have to think about the speed at which you move, the decisions which you make, how fast you're moving, and also the environment that you're around. If you keep thinking of money as an exchange of value, and that if you keep increasing your value by learning fast, by growing and being around the right people, you'll crush it, right? This is exactly why I've created my events, because you create an environment where you can learn, grow, move fast, and you keep moving fast, you're always going to grow. And that's both personally and professionally. My recommendation is get you right. You've got to get your head and your mindset right so that you can move quick. It's the first thing that I do when a business owner comes to me. I'm checking out, are they prepared to move? Are they thinking right? If not, they got to come and do Thrive Time. Now, if they are moving quick, great. Come and do Thrive Time, clarify everything, but also get involved in Business Odyssey so that then you can grow your business. But look, people who move slow, money will always be slow moving towards them as well and probably move away from them. So you want to move fast, make fast decisions, have clarity on what you want, and go hard. And if you keep thinking about the value that you're creating, you'll always have enough money. And that's what I remind myself. Anytime I go through a tough time financially, I know that it's a test to see if it'll break my character. Because in life, we have to get tested to see if we really want it. And if you keep changing your behavior and your character every time you have tests and challenges, like in the past, I would have been pushing hard, business is growing, all of a sudden, huge problem. Then I start getting doubtful, I start getting fearful, I become indecisive, I stop adding value to people around me, and then all of a sudden, bang, I'm stuck. Now, when I have a challenge or an obstacle, I go, right, keep making fast decisions, keep moving quick. We got to figure this out. And the faster we move, the quicker we can figure this out. So let's be decisive. Let's move. Let's get shit done. And let's break through this problem and let's get to the next level. Let's go. And that's how I operate. Driven Mofos, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you've loved it, remember to share it on your socials. Just screenshot it, tag me in it as well, Michael Mojo _success. And make sure you tag me in it. And that way I can send you a thank you. And also it'll share with your friends. I can share it with my community and push my followers over to your page as well. So just remember to share it with your community as well. Anyway, Driven Mofos, take care. Have a great day. Keep kicking ass. And I believe in you all. Keep pushing hard. And I'll see you on the next episode. Most people waste their life. And I just don't want you to be one of them.